Hi my favorite people, my name is Favor and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please, if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, consider subscribing, click on the bell sign so you'll be the first to know whenever there's a new upload. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make Nigeria chicken stew for a get together. And if you really want to know how I made the spicy stew, watch to the end so you get to see every bit of it. Thank you. I'm going to be showing you the ingredients and I will be using tofu chicken for this recipe. Hope you guys can see it. Then this is the tomato I'm using everything. Then I'm using some garlic, some ginger and 3 cubes of seasoning. And I'm going to be using 2 onions for this recipe, one to fry the sauce and the other one to blend the peppers. And I'm using 4 chili and 3 scotch bonnet. As you can see, I brought out the scotch bonnet from the freezer. It's here to defrost, and I'm using the steamed tomatoes for this recipe. So this is the chicken. I'm going to be uploading the video of how I chopped the chicken to my desired size this week by the grace of God. So I'm just going to wash it very well, maybe 2 times or 3 times. Then I'll put it in a sieve so that the water can drain off. So I'm just using my fork to raise the chicken so that it will be easy for the water to go down. And this is the gizzard from the chicken, and those eggs is from one of the chickens. So I'm going to be cooking everything together. So this is the chicken. It's inside the pot already. Right now I'm going to be adding some curry powder, some salt, some seasoning cubes. I'm using 1.5. You know, from the beginning I showed you guys I'll be using 3 seasoning cubes for this recipe, so I'll use 1.5 to boil to steam the meat. Then I will be using the remaining one for the tomato sauce. So this is the other half. Then I'm gonna be using fennel cure. This fennel cure, I don't know the English name. I'll write it on the screen where I edited this video. So it's like thyme, but I really like it for my meat because it smells nice. I like it. I'm going to be adding 2 bay leaves. Thereafter I'm going to be adding the chopped onions. Then I'll give it a proper stir and close it to steam for about 10 minutes. I won't be adding water now. Let's say the water that is going to come outside when steaming. So this is after steaming for about 10 minutes. I'm just going to open it to see how it's doing, and it has a lot of water, so I won't be adding water. I'm just going to give it a stir and close it to cook for another 30 minutes. I'll keep checking it so that it will get burnt. I'm actually leaving it to cook for 30 minutes because this chicken is very hard. In Italian they call it gallina. It's like our African, it's like our native chicken. For it to be the other type of chicken, maybe 10 minutes is ready, but this one is very hard. You can see for yourself. So I'm just going to close it and leave it to cook for about 20 minutes. I'll keep checking so that it won't get burnt. So just keep controlling the water. So that is the chopped onions and garlic that I'm going to blend with the pepper. This is the tomatoes already, so I'm just going to pour in the blended peppers, garlic, ginger inside. Then I'll turn on the heat and leave it to steam for about 30 minutes. This is after cooking for about 20 minutes, and I checked before now if I needed to add more water, but the more the chicken cooks, the more it brings out water, so I just decided to close it and leave it to cook with the water inside. So I'm just gonna give it a stir to make sure that it's not burning. Hope you guys can see it. It's no water, it's just this is how I want the chicken so that it will taste very nice. So I'm just going to turn off the gas and pour the chicken into a sieve so that the water can go out. So this is what it looks like. Hope you guys can see the stock water is very small, and that is how I want it. So this is the pot I'm using to fry this tomato sauce. Whenever you see me using this pot on this channel, you know it's a get together or once in a month stuff. So I'm just gonna add some oil, vegetable oil, then I will leave it to heat a bit. Then I'm gonna be adding the chopped onions. I'll give it a stir and leave it to fry for about 10 minutes. While it's fried, I'll keep stirring so that it won't get burnt. I'm gonna give it a stir. You see those brown things on the body is because the onions is kind of wet. So right now I'm gonna be adding the chopped garlic to this onions and leave it to fry for about a minute. So I'm just gonna keep stirring so it will get burnt. So at this point I'm gonna be adding the tin tomatoes, and I'm using Derica for this recipe, and you can use any tin tomato of your choice. So I'm not using everything, I'm just using half. So I'm just going to use my spoon to beat it down so that it fries together with the chopped onions. Just take your time. If you don't do this, if you don't use this process, it's not going to fry very well. So this is after frying for about 5 minutes, and I just keep stirring it so that it won't get burnt. I'm actually frying this thing for a very long time, 10 minutes or more, because I don't want that in tomato taste. So at this point I'm going to be adding the steamed tomato. This is it. I told you guys from the beginning that it was steamed for about 30 minutes, so I'm just going to pour it inside. So this is after pouring it. I'm going to give it a stir. So you can see this tomato sauce is much, so I'll give it a stir so that everything blends together. Then I will leave it to fry for about 10 to 15 minutes. So this is after cooking for about 15 minutes. I'm just going to give it a stir to make sure that it's not burning because the pot is quite full. So right now I'm going to be adding the seasoning cubes, some curry powder, some salt, not too much. Then I'll give it a proper stir, close it and leave it to cook for another 10 minutes. I'm closing it because I don't want it to splash. As you can see, everywhere is full already, so that's why I'm closing it. But if you're making yours and your pot is not as full as mine, you can leave it open, and it's cooking on medium heat. So this is after 20 minutes. The grilled chicken is ready, so I'm just going to transfer it to the tomato sauce. So this is after putting the chicken inside the sauce. I'm giving it a stir. I did not add all the chicken because the pot is full already, else it's just going to start pouring out. So I'm going to give it a stir and leave it to cook for about 5 minutes. So this is after cooking for about 5 minutes on low heat. So I'm just going to give it another stir to make sure that it's not burning. You can see I'm just turning it. I'm just being careful so that the chicken stew won't pour out. As you can see, our Nigeria chicken stew is ready. The oil is not too much. This is perfect. This is how I like my stew to be, not much oil. So I'm just gonna turn off the gas and leave it to cool down. Thank you all for watching, and please, if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, consider subscribing. Click on the bell sign so you'll be the first to know whenever there's a new upload. See you on my next video. Bye.